hide in the shadows no longer.
Let the carnage commence.
So you want to know about Kel'thuzad? Well, do you like cats? Do you have a minute to talk about our Lord and Savior, the Lich King? Do you like missing every single one of your skill shots? Then Kel'thuzad.
The Arch-Lich of Naxxramas, Lich Lord of the Plague Lands, Commander of the Dread Necropolis, Master and Founder of the Cult of the Damned, formerly of the Council of Six, Summoner of Archimond the Defiler, the Betrayer of Humanity, Hearthstone Enthusiast, and Major Domo to the Lich King himself, Kel'thuzad freaking Zad! Oh wait, I forgot Creator of the Abomination. Can we take it again from the top?
It's for you. Since this is meant for people who haven't played WoW before, I'll briefly explain the history of one of Blizzard's most iconic characters, the Lich King. But before Arthas, yeah, they were two separate entities. There's a time skip somewhere on the screen, but here we go, 3, 2, 1. Ner'zhul, an orc of the Shadowmoon clan, had betrayed his people, unwillingly forced them into slavery by demons by the hand of his former apprentice, Gul'dan, and killed Jaden, the Deceiver. The orc's homeworld, Draenor, was dying. His face was painted white, in the shape of a skull. He was already dead inside, and he would embrace a darker path. The Dark Portal, a portal between the orc's world and that of Azeroth, had been built, and the first wars fought. The humans, elves, dwarves, and gnomes were now in pursuit of the head of the army, called the Horde, after Gul'dan was killed. Where one portal was opened, Ner'zhul figured, others to other worlds can be opened as well, and he had stolen powerful artifacts from Azeroth and managed to escape his followers, and also left behind the people he had once sought to protect, people that had once revered him. He didn't care for their fate anymore. As he was floating between the realms, a familiar presence approached him. Pain coursed through him. Kil'jaeden had found him. There was no running from the Master. For this betrayal, Kil'jaeden thought, if you crave death so badly, then you will know it intimately. He ripped Ner'zhul's soul from its body and sealed it into ice, special armor that would make the wearer nearly invulnerable. The Helm of Domination, which allows greater control of the undead, and the Runeblade, Frostmourne. When Kil'jaeden cast Ner'zhul's icy casque back into the world of Azeroth, the hardened crystal streaked across the night sky and smashed into the desolate Arctic continent of Northrend, burying itself deep within the ice-crowned glacier. The frozen crystal, warped and scarred by its violent descent, came to resemble a throne, and Ner'zhul's vengeful spirit stirred within it. Ner'zhul was a pawn of the demons of the Burning Legion once again, but sought to free himself. Slowly, he began to use his powers to separate Frostmourne from the frozen throne and cast it into Northrend, so that one day a wielder would find it. And this is where the story converges with Kel'thuzad's. So you'll hear a bit about the actual Arthas Menethil as well. Kel'thuzad was once a powerful mage of the city of Dalaran and a member of the Council of Six. He was introduced to Lady Jaina Proudmoore when she was in her 3rd year of apprenticeship to the leader of the Kirin Tor, Archmage Antonidas. When the orcs mounted their second assault, they employed the use of Death Knights. Seeing what they could do inspired something in Kel'thuzad, and he became increasingly interested in necromancy. Soon, a voice reached out to him from the frozen wastes of Northrend. The Lich King called to him. Determined to learn everything about the magical world, even the shadow arts, he was the first to answer his call. He thought his peers lacked vision and imagination. After having been found out about reanimating dead rats, Antonidas posed an ultimatum to have Kel'thuzad stop or be exiled. He chose to be exiled and left behind his fortune and rank to travel to Northrend. He met with Anub'arak and was shown the inside of the necropolis Naxxramas. He was frightened at first, but pushed through to travel all the way to Icecrown. He met the Lich King and offered his soul in exchange for great power and immortality. The Lich King imparted dark knowledge within Kel'thuzad and told him of his first mission, to establish a religion that would worship the Lich King as a god and serve as an army. For this, he left Kel'thuzad's humanity intact. Kel'thuzad retained his charm and harmless exterior, training more acolytes in the necropolis Naxxramas, and managed to sneak his way into the Baroth family, using their estate as a headquarters for the cult of the damned, the school of necromancy, Scholomance, dedicated to learning necromancy and performing vile experiments. Many of Lordran's tired or poor laborers rushed to join the ranks of the necromancers. The next stage of the plan was set into motion when the Lich King transferred some of his energy into plague cauldrons and told Kel'thuzad to distribute the plague in cultist-controlled villages. This would turn the villagers into mindless shamblers bent to the Lich King's will after they died. Soon, humanity would be scoured from the world. Overseeing the entire operation was the Dreadlord, Mal'Ganis. Kel'thuzad infected a village named Brill, where Jaina Proudmoore and Arthas Menethil met him. Arthas, Prince of Lordaeron, was ready to do anything to defend his people. Kel'thuzad escaped to Andor Hall.
Hello again, children. I am Kel'thuzad, and I've come to deliver a warning. Leave well enough alone. Your curiosity will be the death of you.
Are you responsible for this plague, Necromancer? Is this cult your doing?
Yes, I ordered the Cult of the Damned to distribute the plagued grain. But the sole credit is not mine.
What do you mean?
I serve the Dreadlord, Mal'Ganis. He commands the scourge that will cleanse this land and establish a paradise of eternal darkness.
And what exactly is this scourge meant to cleanse?
Why, the living, of course. His plan is already in motion. Seek him out at Stratholme if you need further proof.
Where Arthas finally managed to kill him. After telling Arthas to go to Stratholme and seek out his master, Mal'Ganis. His last words, "My death means little. I shall return."
Oh no. We're too late. These people have all been infected. They may look fine now, but it's just a matter of time before they turn into the undead. This entire city must be purged.
What? How can you even consider that? There's got to be some other way.
Damn it, Uther. As your future king, I order you to purge this city.
You are not my king yet, boy. Nor would I obey that command even if you were.
Then I must consider this an act of treason.
Treason? Have you lost your mind, Arthas?
Have I? Lord Uther, by my right of succession and the sovereignty of my crown, I hereby relieve you of your command and suspend your paladins from service.
Arthas, you can't
It's
just...
done! Those of you who have the will to save this land, follow me. The rest of you, get out of my sight.
You've just crossed a terrible threshold, Arthas.
Jaina?
I'm sorry, Arthas. I can't watch you do this.
After purging Stratholme, Arthas traveled to Northrend, and Myrddin Bronzebeard told him about a legendary blade in a cavern near the area.
It says, "Whomsoever takes up this blade shall wield power eternal. Just as the blade rends flesh, so must power scar the spirit." Oh, I should have known. The blade is cursed. Let's get the hell out of here.
I would gladly bear any curse to save my homeland.
Leave it be, Arthas. Forget this business and lead your men home.
Damn the men! Nothing shall prevent me from having my revenge, old friend. Not even you. Now, I call out to the spirits of this place. I will give anything or pay any price, if only you will help me save my people.
Arthas took Frostmourne, and the Lich King in turn already took a part of his soul. Vengeance was all that burned in Arthas' heart. He slew Mal'Ganis. He slew some of the crew that followed him to Northrend, raised them as Death Knights. He returned home. He killed his father, razed Lordaeron to the ground, all because the Lich King whispered to him. The Dreadlords soon found him. They were his keepers now. Tychondrius, Verimathras, and Balnassar. And they told him to find a special urn to gather the remains of Kel'thuzad in. He then had to bring them to the sacred fount of power of the elves, the Sunwell, and resurrect him as a lich.
Can you not simply raise the remains when we find them?
Pardon, Lord, but a being of Kel'Thuzad's power can only be reanimated at a nexus of powerful ley energies, and there are no such places in this land.
Very well then. Let's move out. Come along now, Necromancer. The powers that you once served have need of you again.
Told you, my death would mean little.
What the? Am I hearing ghosts now?
It is I, Kel'Thuzad. I was right about you, Prince Arthas.
I was wondering when you'd show up.
I am here to ensure that you do your job, little human. Not do it for you.
I will reach the Sunwell on my own, Dreadlord.
Be warned. It is a pool of mystical energy from which the elves draw their immortal powers. They will not give it up easily.
Do you think he suspects that you've been aiding me, Necromancer?
I'm sure he suspects quite a bit. It is his nature to assume the worst. Now steel yourself. The hour of my rebirth draws near.
Citizens of Silvermoon, I have given you ample opportunities to surrender, but you have stubbornly refused. Know that today, your entire race and your ancient heritage will end. Death itself has come to claim the high home of the elves. Now arise, Kel'Thuzad, and serve the Lich King once again.
I am reborn as promised. The Lich King has granted me eternal life.
I've upheld my end of the bargain, Lich. Are you ready to tell me about the Dreadlords now?
Certainly, but not here. They have eyes and ears everywhere. We'll talk where it's safe.
Together, they traveled to Dalaran, killed those who resisted, and Kel'Thuzad used his considerable power to summon the demon lord Archimonde.
Come forth, Lord Archimonde. Enter this world and let us bask in your power. Tremble, mortals, and despair. Doom has come to this world. You have done well, little Lich. My plan worked perfectly.
Lord Archimonde, all the preparations have been made.
Very well, Tychondrius. Since the Lich King is of no further use to me, you Dreadlords will now command the Scourge.
As you wish, Lord Archimonde.
Soon, I will order the invasion to begin. But first, I will make an example of these paltry wizards by crushing their city into the ashes of history.
This has got to be a joke. What happens to us now?
Be patient, young Death Knight. The Lich King foresaw this as well. You may yet have a part to play in his grand design.
Although they served the Dreadlords, none of the Lich crew actually liked their masters, and they secretly conspired against them to gain independence. Kel'thuzad was extremely loyal and helpful to Arthas, who was to be the new Lich King, and went out of his way to help Arthas fulfill his destiny. Arthas could never figure Kel'thuzad out, but somehow he felt an attachment to the Lich. He didn't need to control him like the other undead, and he even saved Arthas when the Banshee Sylvanas Windrunner broke free of his grasp and betrayed him.
This is the place, sisters. We'll rest here, Great King.
Why here? We've got to find Kel'thuzad before we...
You have been deceived. Come to my side at once. Obey.
What is happening here? Sylvanas.
You walked right into this one, Arthas. It's time to even the scales.
Traitor! What have you done to me?
It's a special poisoned arrow I made just for you. The paralysis you're experiencing now is but a fraction of the agony you've caused me.
Finish me, then.
A quick death? Like the one you gave me? No. You're going to suffer as I did. Thanks to my arrow, you can't even run. Give my regards to hell, you son of a bitch.
Back, you mindless ones! You shall not fall today, my king.
This isn't over, Arthas. I'll never stop hunting you.
The effect of her arrow will wear off in time. All the preparations for your journey to Northrend have been made.
You have been a loyal friend, Kel'thuzad. I don't know what the future holds, or if I'll even return. But I want you to watch over this land. See to it that my legacy endures.
I shall, King Arthas. I shall.
Kel'thuzad returned to the eastern Plaguelands and resided over Naxxramas, while Sylvanas and her Forsaken took the fallen kingdom Lordaeron for themselves. I could go into the Ashbringer. It's one of my favorite WoW stories, but that'll tack on quite a bit of time, so I'll just say Kel'thuzad is responsible for the creation of the Abomination and the Four Horsemen. One of them he personally tortured after his son betrayed and killed him, Alexandros Mograine. His second son, Darian Mograine, would later serve the Lich King as well. Even though Kel'thuzad was killed pretty early on in WoW history, Naxxramas being a 40-man vanilla raid, technically he's not dead, as we never destroyed his phylactery, which is pretty much a Lich's Horcrux. So he could come back in a future expansion, maybe. Maybe we'll see more of Kel'thuzad. I hope so. Everyone likes Kel'thuzad. He's just really cool. Kel'thuzad is voiced by Michael McConaughey, except in Wrath of the Lich King when he was replaced, as he also voices the Lich King.
Frostmourne hungers for your soul.
And the creators thought it might confuse players. Here are the different voice clips for comparison.
I will freeze the blood in your veins.
I will freeze the blood in your veins. I will freeze the blood in your veins.
The dark void awaits you.
The dark void awaits you. The dark void consumes.
Pray for mercy.
Pray for mercy. Pray for mercy.
Scream your dying breath.
Scream your dying breath. Scream your dying breath.
When Kel'thuzad met Arthas and Jaina, he was 58 years old.
Oh, now, don't you worry, Mr. Bigglesworth. I won't let anyone harm you this time. Hear that, Mr. Bigglesworth? It's our turn now!
Early on in Kel'thuzad's development, one of his level 1 talents was actually Mr. Bigglesworth, which was a pet he could summon and move around with his one key, similar to Lunara's Wisp. While it was out, it had an aura that increased Kel'thuzad's spell power as long as he was near it, but it had a long cooldown if an enemy hero was able to attack it. Another idea was that Mr. Bigglesworth was a scout, like the Wisp, but if it was attacked, it would run away and Kel'thuzad would yell at the enemy team for attacking it and gain a huge damage buff for a short amount of time. This ability actually references a very old WoW rumor, that if you killed Mr. Bigglesworth before fighting Kel'thuzad, it would enrage him and make all his abilities hit harder.
Now! A curse upon you, interlopers! The armies of the Lich King will hunt you down. You will not escape your fate.
This is not true, but some guilds, my guild, were very adamant that you do not touch the cat. This was, of course, scrapped because, hey, let's make Kel'thuzad even harder to play.
Spreading the plague was a lot easier back before everything went all gluten-free.
The way the plague was spread throughout Lordaeron was through plague grain, which Arthas found ironic. The thing that is supposed to sustain the kingdom is causing it to die.
Originally, it took 40 heroes to defeat me. I heard Arthas got beaten by 10. Makes you question who the real Lich King is, doesn't it?
In Classic WoW, Naxxramas was a 40-man raid with only about 1% of players killing Kel'thuzad. Icecrown Citadel was a 10 or 25-man raid with a normal and heroic mode.
You heroes were so busy looting your precious Tier 7, you completely forgot to look for my phylactery! Fools!
As I said, Kel'thuzad isn't technically dead and could come back in the future, but Tier 7 was the revamped Naxxramas for level 80 players in Wrath of the Lich King, while Tier 3 was the actual 40-man classic version of Naxxramas gear.
10 years ago, I was a nobody. Then I started my own religion. Now I have a glorious floating citadel, and you could too, if you just read my book, Striking It Lich. The easy way. At this point, the Cult of the Damned is a cult classic.
Kel'thuzad wrote the Decree of the Scourge, one passage reading, "To conquer is to corrupt. To corrupt is to take what it is to be righteous and hopeful, to be living, and invert it through any means in your arsenal. The attributes of the living all have synonyms with fatal flaws that are their undoing. Hope is dogma. Righteousness is zealotry. Living is empathy. Recognize what makes that which lives desire to live, and turn it upon itself."
Uther, always meant to thank you for the urn. It's made quite the phylactery.
Your father ruled this land for 70 years, and you've ground it to dust in a matter of days.
Very dramatic, Uther. Give me the urn, and I'll make sure you die quickly.
The urn holds your father's ashes, Arthas. What? Were you hoping to piss on them one last time before you left his kingdom to rot?
The chains floating around Kel'thuzad are the chains of Kel'thuzad. The chains only function as a set. A chain separated from the set causes all chains to cease functioning until restored. 3 of the chains are animated to attack on their own. Once a chain has been commanded to attack a target, it continues to attack that target whenever possible. If the target is not in reach, then the chain attacks the random creature. The wearer is free to perform other actions while the chain continues attacking. 2 more chains are animated to grapple and constrict foes. 1 chain wraps itself around the vital parts of the wearer, as appropriate, and provides defensive benefits. 1 chain wraps around the wearer's waist and drags on the ground, granting levitation as long as it remains in contact with the ground.
Ah, Antonitus's lapdog. How is he, by the way? Still dead. Jaina, you know the Lich King still offers you a place by his side.
Seeing as Arthas and Jaina dated, it makes sense for Kel'Thuzad to invite her to join the Scourge. This is a little personal trivia, but in Wrath of the Lich King, Naxxramas had an achievement to kill every single boss in Naxxramas without dying. Kel'Thuzad's Shadow Fissure, or Void Zone, holds a special place in players and my heart, because 1 single person standing in it was 1 shot, and it ruined the entire run. Priest, I remember. I will never forget. Never forgive.
Kel'Thuzad, Archlich of Naxxramas, Lich Lord of the Plaguelands, Commander of the Dread Necropolis, Master and Founder of the Cult of the Damned, formerly of the Council of Six, Creator of the Abomination, Summoner of Archimonde, the Defiler, the Betrayer of Humanity, Hearthstone enthusiast, and Major Domo to the Lich King himself will be here soon. We'll see you in the Nexus.
Yo, confession time. This section is gonna be really short. You can skip it if you want to and go straight to the clips. I don't take offense. Take this section with a grain of salt, because I don't actually know how to play Kel'Thuzad. This is just my experience playing him. Like, I'd love to be able to play Kel'Thuzad. If you're new to the game and you want to play Kel'Thuzad, you better be good at hitting skill shots, man. Kel'Thuzad is really hard to play. I think he's one of the hardest mages in the game. I just can't. I could play 1.0 Chromie just fine, 2.0 Chromie, 3.0 Chromie, like time, delay-based mage combos. I can do that just fine. Just there's something about Kel'Thuzad's combo that's really frustrating, satisfying if you can pull it off, because he is designed to just nuke heroes from the battlefield. I can't wrap my head around the combo. I know the buttons, I just can't do it. I can't do it. So this section is just me telling you about the abilities, what I think of them, and also from my experience playing with and against God-Thuzads. If you have a God-Thuzad on your team who lands every single one of his combos and just erases people from the battlefield, upvote the dude. Please, upvote him. He deserves it. His trait is Master of the Cold Dark. Gain 1 blight every time a hero is rooted by Frost Nova or hit by Chains of Kel'Thuzad. After gaining 15 blight, unlock the Glacial Spike ability, which lets you activate it to create a spike that detonates after 4 seconds, dealing a bit of damage to nearby enemies, and the spike can be affected by Chains of Kel'Thuzad. The spike counts as terrain, so you can actually use it to block off narrow paths if you're being chased, body block enemies, or I think Diablo can use it to crash, like charge people into it. It's terrain, so should be able to. And after 30 blight, gain 75% spell power. This trait is your bread and butter, of course. Like, you got it. That's why I said you gotta land your skill shot. A Kel'Thuzad who doesn't complete his quest is a useless Kel'Thuzad. You need that spell power to be effective and to just erase people. That 75% spell power is no joke. In the early game, what most Kel'Thuzads do is go where all the people are, which is usually mid, and just try to farm their stacks as fast as possible. His Q is Death and Decay. After 0.5 seconds, launch an orb that explodes upon hitting an enemy, dealing 150 damage to enemies in the area. The explosion leaves behind a pool of decay that lasts 2 seconds, dealing 82 damage every 0.5 seconds to enemies. This takes some getting used to, cause the missile looks so small, and then it detonates on first enemy hit, and then it just leaves that pool. So you kinda like Li Ming's W orb. You kinda need to aim it into the center of the minion wave if you're using to clear minions. The one thing that takes some getting used to when you're playing Kel'Thuzad for the first time is that your Q has a delay of 0.5 seconds. Usually I'd play Jaina, Nova, you know, instant Q skill shots, and this one has like delay, so you kinda... It takes some getting used to. His W is Frost Nova. Create a Nova that explodes after 1 second, dealing 180 damage to enemies inside and slowing them by 35% for 2.5 seconds. Enemies in the center are rooted for 1 second. I'm just gonna say all of his skill shots have a delay, except for Chains of Kel'Thuzad. Everything has a delay. You really need to get in that mindset of timing. Frost Nova, good follow-up. If you can't land it on your own, it's a good follow-up to already existing CC. His E is Chains of Kel'Thuzad. Launch a chain, dealing 97 damage to the first enemy hero hit. For 3 seconds after hitting an enemy, Chains of Kel'Thuzad can be reactivated to launch an additional chain, pulling both enemies together and stunning them for 0.5 seconds. This is the hardest part about playing Kel'Thuzad. Landing the chains. And landing them if you want to blow up 2 people at a time. Just landing a chain on 2 people at a time and rooting them at the same time and ulting them at the same time and putting your death and decay on them at the same time. This is where the micro-managey part of Kel'Thuzad comes in that I just can't do. When my combo on Li Ming is WEQR, or you know, I usually main Anduin just like EW. It's like when you have to do EWERQ auto attack, it's just so much in such a you have 3 seconds for all of it before the chains run out, and it's so difficult to just do the math, triangulate, triangulating the chains, trying to hit this enemy, trying to see where they would connect, and then putting the Frost Nova in between the 2 enemies, and then putting all the rest of your skill shots in that exact same spot where they would be rooted. Can you see why Kel'Thuzad is a hard hero to play? It's insane. Like, I can't. It's so frustrating. And that is why I always upvote a Kel'Thuzad, because it takes a lot of practice to get good at Kel'Thuzad. Or maybe I'm just stupid, I don't know. But fun fact, Kel'Thuzad used to be able to chain enemies to their own buildings. You could use towers for your chains. Yeah, that was removed really quickly. You can put the spike down and use the spike for your chain combo, so you know exactly where they're gonna land. But if a Kel'Thuzad main could please answer me this, why does it just stop short sometimes when I pull someone and it just stop right before the root? Like, it doesn't even pull them all the way to the spike? What's going on? Please, Kel'Thuzad main, answer me this. Usually it should pull them all the way to the ice block, so you know you put your root down there, your ult and your Q, and you auto attack them and they should die. Sometimes the chain just has a ridiculous latching range, like it goes beyond the indicator for the skill shot. Sometimes that happens. You can use the chain before the ice block, you can use the chain after the ice block. There's a whole bunch of combos you can do with Kel'Thuzad, but like the EWE is the one people say, you know, you should learn first. His first heroic is Frost Blast. Launch a meteor of ice at an enemy hero. Upon impact, the meteor deals 100 damage to its target and 275 damage to enemies in the area. All enemies hit by Frost Blast are rooted for 2 seconds. This one is less useful than Shadow Fissure, which is his next heroic. I don't see many Kel'Thuzads use this one. I personally, when I play Kel'Thuzad, I just pick it when I know I'm not gonna be able to land a combo or they're really tanky. So I just Frost Blast them, try to root them in place for the team to take care of them because I know I'm gonna be useless. It can keep mobile heroes in place so the team can finish them off like a Li Ming teleporting all over the place. But honestly, I don't see a lot of good Kel'Thuzads take this. And I see why. Because good Kel'Thuzads actually land their combo, which leads me into Shadow Fissure. Create a fissure anywhere in the battleground that explodes after 1.5 seconds, dealing 320 damage to enemy heroes in its area. And it is amazing! I fucking love this spell. It's so cool. I love it. I love listening to it. I love hearing Kel'Thuzad say his voice line. It's so cool. They did such a good job on this. From like an art perspective, I love this spell. From a gameplay perspective, it's kind of frustrating. When there's a god Kel'Thuzad on the enemy team, you know you're dead. As soon as you see that ice block, or as soon as you get chained, you know you're just dead. Because Shadow Fissure does so much damage combined with the whole combo. It can just nuke you into orbit as a squishy assassin. Honestly, every Kel'Thuzad I see picks Shadow Fissure pretty much by default. 16-second cooldown. What? Global. What? Does so much damage. What? For talents, again, this section, I don't play Kel'Thuzad a lot. I'm under no illusion that I'm good at Kel'Thuzad. I'm passable at best. So this is the build I run with because I saw this like as kind of the starter Kel'Thuzad build. It has the best of everything and is quote-unquote easy to play. Barbed Chains at level 1, level 4 Phylactery of Kel'Thuzad, just because I'm kinda diligent about collecting my region globes, and if you collect 12, you can activate the spell to immediately respawn. Kinda like Malthael at level 20, I think. So instant respawn if things go down south, it's a safety net for me. Chilling Touch at level 7, Shadow Fissure at level 10 because I do wanna practice the combo. Level 13 Chains of Ice, level 16 Power of Ice Crown, and level 20 Might of the Scourge. And that's it. That is Kel'Thuzad for you. I hope it was somewhat enjoyable, even though I didn't give as much insight on the ability section as I would normally do, but I'm also running out of Warcraft heroes that I do actually play. I pretty much only have Chromie, Tyrande, Lunara, and Greymane left that I actually know how to play. And then we go into sketchy territory with Lily, Zul'jin, Murky, Myrddin, Brightwing, Rhaegar, Gul'dan, Garrosh, Ragnaros, Rexxar, Illidan. Oh, I don't know how to play Illidan at all. Shen, Gazlowe, Malfurion, Falstad, Uther. God, please don't make me play Uther. So I'll probably just finish out with Chromie, Lunara, Tyrande, and Greymane for now, because I actually know how to play them. And then you can start laughing at me because we go into sketchy territory with characters I have no clue about. But I wanted to talk about Kel'Thuzad, so I hope you found it somewhat entertaining. As always, more detailed stuff in the description below, and have some Kel'Thuzad clips. Enjoy, make fun of me, and I'll see you in the Nexus. I will fake it till I make it.
Mephisto, I'll kill the Brightwing, rip. The ghetto Mephisto skill shot alt, lol.
Should I even be playing Kel'Thuzad with you on a DPS? I feel like that's a bad idea.
Why? Why?
Because I suck. Someone's gotta carry.
Oh. Okay. Okay, buddy.
God. Don't look at me.
I try not to.
I don't deserve your eyeballs. God damn it! How do I miss point blank? Don't look at me! Don't look at me! I'm never gonna get this quest done. It's Kel'Thuzad. It's you can tell.
Oh! You're the first Kel'Thuzad I've ever seen that can fuck that up.
The wall! No! Don't look at me!
Mom was right. Walls do work.
Don't look at me! Again! I'm done with this map. Wait, I should play Illidan next. If I'm going down like the you suck list, I should play Illidan. I only died 2 times. It's Kel'Thuzad. I deserve.
What's coming along?
What? My quest? 25 out of 30.
14 minutes into the game? Don't people get it done in like 7?
Shut Shut up! I don't play Kel'Thuzad.
Hey, Kaylee's. Guess what?
I'm
fucking looking at you right now.
No! See, this is why I can't hit anything. It all makes sense now.
Finish the quest by the end of the game?
No, shut up.
Nope. Sometimes I carry too hard for you. Fucking karma, bitch. Get the. Maybe I should blame XYZ while Alina plays DPS. Somebody has to carry. Get the fuck out. I'm done with you. This is why you get no riot points. Be gone.
Be gone, fuck. No, Nova, no. That'll do, Nova.
How can you not just fly around on your happy ass little mount?
That was the decoy. Okay. Alright, I'm dead. Please! Fucking hell!
Throw you in the trash.
Take that, bitch! Oh my god, there's Shayun! Why? 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 Be right back. Committing Sudoku.
They just walked by me while I was killing their health fountain. I was like, should I turn? Or should I just kill the health fountain?
Oh no! I missed. Goodbye. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Bye.
Yeah, turn around.
Ugh.
Lol.
I love this rework. What? Bullshit. What the hell? How? How? How did that not fully pull him? What? God damn! No! Please! For the love of God!
Max Ramus was only a setback.
Max Ramus was only a setback.
I can't believe they killed Kel'Thuzad that early. You're like a minion.
Oh my god!
I'm still asleep.
Just.
Throw you
I
in
got.
the chat?
No! I got pinballed. Windows 98 pinball.
Look at it. And in it, all of its glory.
Ah! Ah!
Did you get body blocked?
You pushed him out of my range.
You'll have to do better than that. Stop going easy on him. Unleash the Kel'thuzad. Unleash. I veto this one.
Boom! Shakalaka! Thank you.
Did you do the thing?
Thank you. I finally did it.
The god swap? The top iceberg?
I call it the Candyman.
Welcome to Candyland, bitch. That's why.
No, the candy van. I snatched her up.
Pray for mercy. The end is upon you. Scream your dying breath.